Don't really have a draft plan going into this. Looks like I'm last pick. How about a Grimstroke kind of draft? Let's go with something general, kind of react to them. I know in the video I told you guys to have a plan, but I don't have a team, so it's like there's no real plan for me to make ahead of time. Now, if I'm playing Grimstroke, I don't want to deal with Nyx too much because he makes it like if Nyx happens to be in your lane, it's pretty tough to do the whole Inkswell thing if you can just Carapace into it and then walk away. So we're gonna ban him. And let's see, if I want to play Grimstroke, who are some popular heroes? Yeah, actually, coincidentally, OD also would have been pretty annoying for me. Now I know these guys like to play Spirit Breaker, but I'm gonna leave it open to them. Don't feel like I need to target ban them too heavily. I doubt people play Enchantress. Earthshaker, maybe? Clockwork's a little annoying to deal with, I feel like. Yeah, let's do Clockwork. No, I don't actually want to open with the Grimstroke. I kind of want to leave it, like, open. Let's see if they happen to pick heroes that I really don't want to play against as Grimstroke. I think I'll open with Shadow Shaman. He's pretty popular right now. I think he's all around decent. All of his, besides his ultimate, all of his spells can benefit from Soulbind, and that's pretty good. Jakiro. And Jakiro does have the attack range talent, but his attack animation is slow. He can cancel my channel, though. But when I get Aether Lens and, like, the Shard, you channel from so far away. I think it'll be okay. Or I could just pick Rubik, actually. Rubik is, like, such a counter to Jakiro. Rubik 4. Could still do Grimstroke 5. Let's do that. And we don't even have to play Grimstroke, actually. We can change it up. Now, Rubik probably is my 4 position. I have kind of revealed that. But I do think Rubik is so good against Jakiro and just a good hero in general. Solid hero in general. It probably depends on the game if he's good or not. So let's adjust the draft a little bit then. Let's do something that's a bit of a flex pick. Could do Viper, mid or off lane. Troll later could just keep dispelling anything from Jakiro. That could be good. But also the Ice Path and all of that, kind of annoying. Snapfire. So that's kind of pushing me away from Grimstroke a little bit. No, that's probably both supports right there. I want something that can sort of deal with the Snapfire. Cancel her stuff. Puck could be good, mid or off lane. There is Ice Path, which is a little annoying for Puck, but actually Puck also kind of like abuses it anyways, like can get out of stuff. I think it's fine. I don't think Puck is that worried. Like, I think you can dodge a lot of Snapfire stuff. Okay, so what do they need? They probably need all their cores. I suppose they could do Snapfire core, but it's a little unlikely. What do I need? I still need my position 5, most likely. I'm not going to do something weird to them like Puck 5. I think that's something that, like, pros might do, but I think in, like, a typical amateur casual team, I guess you might still see it occasionally, but a little uncommon. We have shifted towards a bit of a... This isn't the best Grimstroke lineup. It could still be, though, actually. Puck doesn't have to combo with it, and we could still pick, like, Grimstroke and something that combos well with it, like Sand King. I guess that might reveal what positions these guys are in, but still, it's such a reliable combo. I don't know if it matters. What do I not want to deal with? I think Mars could be annoying. Mars has good team fight, kind of sets up for their abilities. Knocks people. Like, if we're playing Grimstroke, he knocks people away. That's super irritating. I I think we have control for Weaver, actually, because of Puck and Rubik. I don't know if they would play Puck. Ricky could be annoying to deal with. Part of me wants Ricky, but maybe I should just ban it out to be safe. Ricky, really annoying to play against if you're going for Grimstroke. I feel like the Puck... I'm not actually sure. I don't know how Ricky feels about the Puck matchup, to be honest. Part of me thinks you can dodge like some of Puck stuff, and then Puck also like doesn't want to deal with Smokescreen. I'm gonna let the time tick down a little bit. I think that's probably more realistic of a typical draft they deal with versus like putting them on the fire, just insta-banning things out. I do like their bans. I think these make a lot of sense. I am gonna need a hard carry with these two. Like, Puck can be your playmaker, but I do need a hard carry, and it looks like that's what they are starting to ban out. Oh, I like it. These bans are making a lot more... Oh, they're putting me to the... Ooh, okay. Now, I gotta think. I wasn't actually even... I was just talking. I wasn't even thinking about my third pick. Now, if we're thinking Grimstroke, I don't want to deal with something like Jug. Even though we have Puck to sort of control that stuff, a little bit later in the lane, it's pretty annoying. I guess Grimstroke won't be against him anyways, but still, I don't want to deal with the spell immunity. Do I pick Grimstroke here or the Sand King? If I pick Grimstroke, it becomes... it becomes a little obvious what I'm going for. But if I pick Sand King now, it reveals the Puck pick. Like, it's Puck or Sand King off lane. And actually, it would kind of be obvious. Sand King is pretty much an off laner. I think we'll get Grimstroke now. Jakiro, slow attack animation, can't get rid of the silence. If she has her E going, she can get rid of it for herself or for her teammates. So that part's like, not so great. And the cookie is kind of good against this Inkswell Delio. But if I pick a good laning partner for him, it should be okay. Of course, I did just ban out the Ricky. Oh, Night Stalker. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I think that means I can pick Sand King now, actually. I think if they... Actually, they're also kind of weak to Timbersaw. Timbersaw doesn't make any sense with the Grimstroke. Maybe that's a bad idea. It's tempting, because I feel like I'll have a good lane. But maybe it's safer. Let's just do the Sand King. We could do Doom, maybe. I have a bit of time. We'll use it here. Because I think, worst case, they pick a hero really good against Sand King. I push Sand King into the safe lane and 1v1 versus this Night Stalker. Maybe. And I could even, like, duo lane with these guys. Or tri-lane, sorry. And that seems like it could be good. I think that's... I like Sand King with the Grimstroke in lane. Now, we're going to have to ban out... Unless they pick their carry here, we're going to have to ban out some carries that can dodge the Sand King matchup. Or not dodge it, but like they don't mind. Which is pretty much... We're going to dodge ranged heroes. Oh, so he actually goes for the... Ooh, this is nice. I'm liking their draft a lot more. I should have thought about this. In fact, I did think about it when I saw the Mars, but then I started thinking about my own picks instead. I did think about banning this Faceless Void. Could I go Weaver? A Weaver... Actually, there's a lot of control for Weaver, but I was thinking like Weaver Ags, you like glimpse people out. I think they should ban Wraith King. I think I'll pick Wraith King if they don't ban him. What am I even talking about, these two? It should be these two together. They remember the illusion heroes I was doing. So what do they need? They need a mid laner. This guy's kind of active. They probably want someone who can also set up In Chrono, a little bit. I don't think they play Invoker. Zeus? I think Zeus struggles against Puck, though. I would want someone active as well against. If I had this combo, I want someone else who can also be a little active. I think Chrono, Faceless Void does like most of what you need in the late game. I'm kind of removing these active mobile heroes that, on one hand, Puck kind of counters and I do have control for. On the other hand, could be kind of annoying, especially if I want to go Wraith King. Like, they get these active heroes that get to do stuff. Oh, maybe I should ban Leshrac instead, actually. The melee bans probably don't make too much sense. They probably wouldn't pick another melee hero with Faceless Void, actually. I should have thought about that. I think we'll ban Lesh. To be honest, not 100% sure on the Leshrac versus Puck matchup. But I feel like Leshrac could just dump a bunch of damage into these spells. Pugna, Skywrath, those are also some thoughts I'm thinking about. Pugna could be pretty annoying. I don't have the best answer for Pugna. Yeah, I think actually Pugna might be better. Pugna would make Wraith King super annoying. I do have some like stuns and all that, but the control for the Wraith King would be really irritating. What if they pick Wraith King? That'd be wild. The reason I'm thinking Wraith King, guys, is because they have a lot of spells. Like, their whole, like, it looks like their plan to me is to burst down, like, win a huge team fight around Chrono, throw in a ton of spells around that, and if you just don't die to that, you're good. Or if you die and then come back, also good. Maybe ready to get this snipping tool here. Okay, if they ban Wraith King, who else could I pick? I want someone else who could survive a lot of this stuff. Ooh, yeah, they got a nice Wombo combo. I still think I go with, like, Wraith King or... Could you do Spectre? I think that's too passive, I feel like. I like this Wraith King. Hello?
Hey, hey.
Hey, so
God
my last
damn
pick's
that
gonna
Jug
be...
pick.
My last pick's gonna be Wraith King.
Okay.
I like your draft a lot better this time. This is pretty good.
Nice.
You did you see that Jug coming? That fucked us hard.
I was thinking about picking Grimstroke, and so I started to ban out people that Grimstroke doesn't like to play against. So that's what led to the Jug pick. I didn't really think you guys were strictly going for that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What was a good other option, I suppose?
I think our improvements here, what we did very well was we chose our 4 and our 5. We committed to just choosing 4 or 5 comfort picks, and then after we did that, we figured who's going to be our carry and how do we want to play, and that's how we built out everything else.
I like that.
So we started banning Drow, Troll, and LC because we wanted to set up for Void. Or for a Jug, sorry, for a Jug. And then you ban Jug, so then we had to go for a Void. But we mixed like kind of like short term, like we went longer term thinking in terms of like how do we want to play this one.
Like there's a lot of heroes on your end that are hard to catch, like especially Puck. So the Void was a bit of a way to hopefully deal with Rubik and Puck, if possible, and then then afterwards, yeah, given that the 4 heroes you had picked, Night Stalker could probably be able to disable one of them. Hopefully get 2 of them in Chrono, and then we'd be in a pretty good spot. Especially if our supports aren't dead at that point.
Yeah.
What'd you think about the DP at the end?
I liked it. I thought it fit I thought it was good combo with the Faceless Void, and then Faceless Void and Night Stalker, they kind of, well, Night Stalker at least like runs in, and then Faceless Void looks for like a nice chrono based on that, and then that kind of creates some space for the Death Prophet to actually get her ult off and like not be killed right away. So I thought it fit well. How do you guys feel about your lineup as a whole? So knowing my last pick's Wraith King, like, what do you guys think?
Yeah, Wraith King is kind of hard to. He's basically a forget until we deal with the rest.
I see.
I guess at that point it would just be slowly pushing towers and hoping that fights will come to us. Like Wraith King will. Yeah. I find the 4 first picks are pretty mobile, so there's probably going to be like a 4 protect 1 type thing.
For my lineup?
Yeah. Until Wraith King gets online, and then. But. Yeah,
That's a hard one, because you know what? Our tendency when we go against Wraith King is in a team fight, we end up popping him, and then we stand around waiting for him to revive, and all of our cooldowns are I mean, everything's on cooldown. And then it takes us extra long to kill him again, and then the team comes and wipes us.
Yeah.
Wraith King, I like Wraith King how it disrupts us because we have long cooldown, because we're playing around Void at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we need a team wipe. Like, we need to initiate, take out your 4 other guys, and then take out Wraith King. And that's how we win the game. But if we miss that, then... And it's fucking hard to hit Puck. And Sand King, a good Sand King just gets away.
In the end, though, I think both lineups ended up being pretty solid. And I think your lineup could definitely win. I think, like, the last one we did, where I, like, last picked that Naga, I think that was super hard for you guys to play. But I think this would definitely come down to, like, execution versus, we lost the draft or we won the draft. Which, at the end of the day, if you have an even draft, that's pretty good. At the end, you just don't want to, like, lose in the draft, because that feels pretty bad.
Yeah, I feel good with this one. Like, I think like, if all skills were equal, I think this is neutral. This negates itself.
Yeah. I think you probably should have banned the Wraith King, though, to be honest. Especially against... I didn't know... So apparently you guys didn't plan to go for the Chrono either, originally. But with the Chronosphere, what I liked about that so much is that it's like a great combo with Snapfire and Macropyre and this DP pick as well. It's like you have so much damage for the Chrono.
Yeah.
And usually in that kind of lineup, what you want is to pretty much immediately delete a couple heroes. And from there, even though a lot of your big spells are down, you then have like 5 versus 3. And that, that naturally goes well for you. That's why I thought, like, the second I saw Faceless Void, I was thinking I want Wraith King, because if you chrono Wraith King and you throw all your spells on him, he just comes back. And then it's like a 5-on-5 versus, but like I have a bunch of like lower cooldown spells versus your like huge cooldown spells. I still think it's playable for you. You just can't like focus the Wraith King, but because of that, our plan is like get Wraith King really farmed and then make him be like this frontliner. Like, he's the one hitting the towers, and you guys feel really bad jumping him because you jump him and he just comes back and you've blown your huge spells.
I would say also at our level, that's the tendency, is to jump on. Like, if Wraith King shows himself, we react and we jump on him and we throw our cooldowns on him.
Yeah,
the bristleback effect.
Yeah. And then
at our level,
once like the chrono, like say you jump him and you kill him, if you don't commit chrono, then like first off, I think Faceless Void has to go in to be able to kill the Wraith King. And so if Faceless Void goes in but chooses not to chrono, then I have a bunch of counter initiation, and maybe we kill Faceless Void before he gets a chrono off at all, which means you kind of have to chrono on the front, or you have to like take this fight from behind. But having said that, you're right. Like, Wraith King does need some time to come online, and Death Prophet is definitely a hero, and so is like Jakiro and Snapfire.
And Night Stalker are pretty
yeah,
quick
and Night
in game.
Stalker like on and off, but yeah, definitely he comes online sooner, where you guys could push the tempo pretty quickly, and like maybe Wraith King doesn't come online. So yeah, I really liked your draft a lot more this time.
Interesting.
When you say that Wraith King is going to be wailing on the towers, like just in terms of understanding the nitty gritty of positioning, let's say it's the dire T1 bottom, if and I know that at this stage of the game that was already going to be gone, but just for the sake of my mental map,
Sure.
If he's wailing on the dire T1, are the rest of your party like literally behind the river, like waiting for him to get jumped, and they're so far away that they can't get gone on by the rest of our team? Or is it more like they'll strategically withdraw as we see anyone?
So yeah, if you're imagining the dire T1 tower, I would put, so Wraith King's hitting the tower, so he's like right there, and then at least, well, if you think about it, Rubik and Grimstroke are both backline support, so they are going to be back. Sand King and Puck might be a little closer, but I would still want them a bit in the back. So it really kind of is Wraith King taking point because he has that extra life. And your two initiations, really your only initiation is the Night Stalker. Night Stalker has to run in, and he wants to draw attention so that then the Faceless Void gets to chrono like multiple people. That's why I wanted Wraith King, because I don't have to be worried about that. If I had someone like Slark who can be killed in the chrono, then like if Night Stalker runs in and silences him, I have to go help the Slark, and then that's how Faceless gets the big chrono. But since I'm not scared of that, like everyone else gets to stay in the back, and they get to wait till they see what they want, which is to see where the Faceless Void is. Because I think that's the only way I lose a fight, is if Faceless Void gets a big chrono, and then you get to combo all these spells, then, you know, you probably kill my Puck before Puck gets to do anything. Or you kill the Sand King, you kill the Grimstroke, whatever. They don't get to do anything. So it really would come down to, like, who... you have to find my backline, pretty much not Wraith King. You have to find those guys, which you can do with a Night Stalker, but it does mean, like, if Night Stalker is supposed to be your... Like, it starts this really weird fight where Night Stalker has to, like, run around and, like, start a fight with the backline, but then he has to not die either, because by the time Faceless Void runs up then, like, oh, Night Stalker found him, now I have to run up and chrono them, but he has to go through, like, the Wraith King, unless he also goes around, which I think is how you probably will need to take fights, is that you don't directly fight the tower like you usually do. Like, one team on each side of the tower. You guys have to send, like, a couple of the heroes around to kind of jump the backline, which you have a Night Stalker, and actually that's pretty good for you, because if he's ulting, he'll get to see, like, the whole night vision, the flying vision thing, which most of the heroes don't, and that's why you could, like, hide in the trees, and then it's easier for us.
So, like, from our perspective, it would be pretty important at the beginning of the game to quickly start determining the tempo and pushing in to try to maybe get a few racks before Wraith King gets too beefed up.
I think you would like it, but it's not strictly necessary. I wouldn't be too scared going into the late game as you guys either, just because, I mean, Faceless Void is, like, he's pretty scary with the chrono, right? There's, like, almost no counter to it. One of the counters being having a second life, and that's why it's, like, Wraith King. But for the most part, usually you get chronoed, and there's, like, not a lot that you can do to save it, and Faceless Void is definitely the kind of core that can eventually kill at least one person in that. Plus, you have so much damage to throw into it that I think DP forces objectives the best. Like, one of the weaknesses of my lineup is that Rubik, Puck, Grimstroke, Sand King, they're great at these small fights. They're great at pushing the waves, but then their tower damage is not all that great unless I were to, like, have a catapult or something like that. But DP is, like, fantastic at it. Now, Wraith King eventually is great at taking towers, but, like, he wants to be farming at the start. So that's why I think you guys could have some great timings where, you know, you have, like, Chrono and DP ult. And it's like, okay, let's go together, find a kill, take a building. All our cooldowns are up now, so it's like, okay, split up and farm a little bit. Then it's like, okay, get back together in, like, 2 minutes, repeat. Whereas for me, you know, I can do it a little sooner, but then I just don't take the towers that well, which means if you guys take like an okay fight and we like trade a couple heroes, like even if I win the fight a little bit, like I kill 3 heroes but I lose like 1 or 2, it's like the remaining 2 aren't really good at taking towers. So I definitely think you can start to take some buildings, restrict my farm a bit with the DP, but then if it comes to a point where it's like it's not working too well, don't like throw yourselves at it until you die and like you throw completely, you know? Be okay with like, okay, we're not winning fights anymore, let's chill, let's go to the late game a bit more, and look for a good fight there because you have the toolkit to do it too.
It's a great perspective because I never thought of it in those terms, in the sense that if we want to stop you guys from pushing, we take down Wraith King and we back off from it for a second life, because it prevents you from wanting to push if Wraith King only has if his ult is down.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool to be able to think of it in that way. Like that's next level play.
And I don't even want Wraith King in the fight for like the first, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, right? He's just going to be farming.
But then can you take towers then with that lineup with Rubik, Puck, Grimstroke?
Yeah,
Santa?
exactly. I can't really. And so it's like for us, we're kind of like, you know, if we find a good fight, we'll take a tower. We'll try. But it's definitely harder for us than like you with the DP ult. Having said that, when you don't have DP ult, well, you still have like Jakiro and Snapfire a little bit, but like, I do think your ability to take towers without DP ult is still better than me without Wraith King. But I suppose that's also like a slight weakness. You guys are a bit weak without your big spells.
Yeah, I almost see this like we go for a fast tempo. We go for objectives. Like, you guys are good at team fights, but we back off and we switch towers, and we just keep going after towers.
And I only want for you guys, if you're playing this, I would only want Faceless Void to join when he has Chrono. Use the Chrono, get the kill, maybe get the tower, and then if he had to TP in, you leave him there to farm, and everyone else goes away. Or if he still has TP, like you guys rotated to him, you get the tower, now he TP somewhere else, and he gets to farm.
Would kill priority be on the Puck for Void?
It's tough to say. I think it would depend how the game goes. You'll have to kind of determine who's the highest priority hero. I think Puck is definitely up there. Rubik, not bad to kill either, because Rubik is really... There's a lot of good spells to steal this game. So killing Rubik would be pretty good. And especially if Rubik steals like any stun or silence, like telekinesis into that stun, it's... Faceless Void like may actually just die in that. Like being lifted into an ice path is like 6 seconds of stun almost, followed up by like every other stun my lineup has. So I wouldn't mind it if Night Stalker prioritized like the supports either, just for that reason, because they provide a lot of impact in the fights.
Rubik's hard to play against, but thankfully at our level, like it's no one's doing that. At least that well. Like theoretically, it makes a lot of sense, but no one's stealing like spells, casting, steal spell cast,
All right.
spell cast.
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy. I never thought of. I can't imagine going against that.
I was actually thinking for you guys earlier, because I also like Jakiro a lot, and I'm totally cool with you guys like using it, even if he's not like the most meta hero, but I think he's pretty like stable and solid. I don't know if you want to ban Rubik first phase, but maybe holding off to see if they don't, like if they pick 2 supports and one of them isn't Rubik, then it's like, okay, I feel great about Jakiro. But I think even without a good, well, okay, a bad Rubik player might keep stealing spells, but a good Rubik player, or even like an average Rubik player, if he just takes Ice Path, this game becomes so hard for you guys. I think it's so much stun with all his abilities. It's such a long range, long duration stun, and Faceless Void hates that. It's like he chronos someone and then he gets stunned for 4 segs, and he doesn't do anything in the chrono.
Well, we were talking about that actually just before the draft, and Tug was saying that he doesn't like when we pick the offlane in the first tranche of picks because it leads to the lane being really hard and being countered. So we tried something different. We usually do like a 3 and then a 4 or a 5. And I don't know, like I see what he's saying, and it's fucking tough when you're picking into a counter-picked lane or playing a counter-picked lane.
Yeah, for sure.
But I like having the support flexibility as the drafter, as a team. I think that helps us. But yeah, it's a challenge because you go 4-5, and then it's like there's a lot of counters that you don't get to pick. or
Mhm.
holes that you can't fill because you don't get that kind of squishy backline caster type.
Was Puck a flex?
Yeah.
In that case?
That was a little bit. I would say for you guys, you probably only see Puck mid, but Puck could definitely be an offlaner. And at the highest level, which I decided I definitely wasn't gonna do to you guys, but like Puck has been shifted to support. Like if it looks like
Right.
like you want a different core, like Puck can. I lost 2-1 earlier actually. Like Puck can be support and have decent impact, but I'm pretty sure no one runs that in like outside of Immortal. So I would say he's mostly a mid laner for you guys and maybe an off laner. So I felt like I was cheating when I picked him, honestly.
Puck is
No,
offline. Is that this patch or has he always been like that?
It's varied. I can't remember which patch it was. For a long time, he was just either a mid and occasionally an off laner. Then there was a patch where he was like mostly an off laner, and then there was some patch where like people realized he was kind of busted, and then they just started playing him in like every role besides position 1. And so he became super flexible like that. And I think that has tons of utility, but it's also really hard to get everyone to learn Puck because Puck is a hard hero. So
But this might be something we want to do then if we're scared of getting countered. Just having a flex pick in the first 2.
Oh, I
Which
love
opens
Puck.
up so much opportunity. It doesn't have to be Puck, right? But like,
Yeah,
that's what we
any
do with
Yeah.
Viper usually. That's what we do with Win if we can.
I like the Viper. Like I think Viper's pretty popular right now, and he's good in off lane or mid. And if you think about it, he shuts down a lot of possible picks. Like almost no one wants to pick a melee matchup into Viper. It's pretty miserable. And that way, even if you're like, say you put it in off lane, you know you're gonna pick it off lane, even though it looks like a flex pick. If you pick a strong 4, like I know Clockwork's super annoying. Clockwork's almost a guaranteed kill with Viper, but like even the Spirit Breaker, anyone with a stun, like if the enemy picks a melee carry, you're gonna be pretty happy with that. And if they pick a ranged carry, like okay, Viper doesn't get to do as much as he wants to, but at the end of the day, you're still playing like okay, Viper versus range, you're gonna get your farm. You don't feel as counter picked. And then you can also ban out some of his like worst matchups.
Yeah, we were talking about Viper this game, but I felt that Puck is a good counter. Like you guys move in, you guys can pick off Viper because he can't run.
Yeah, I would
Do you
say
think Viper
this
would've
game
done-
maybe Viper wouldn't have felt as good.
What's the word on Puck versus Viper? Because that's what I was scared of. He just seems so fucking annoying.
To be honest, I'm not 100% sure. I do think that Viper versus Puck, I think it's hard for Viper to kill the Puck. I think the Puck can set up to kill the Viper, but Viper will itemize to be like he's already got natural magic resistance, and it's not that weird for him to build a Hood of Defiance either. At which point Puck cannot solo kill the Viper, and he's gonna need help. So you can set up the kill, but unless you have other people providing damage, I think that it's okay. And later on, the AoE silence, like if you make it to the late game, I think that's really good against Puck. Of course, Puck has like stupid mobility, but you know.
Who has AoE silence?
Viper.
Oh,
it's in his
But what?
talents.
fuck, I haven't got that far.
It's like level 25. It's level 25. You don't see it very often.
Oh, okay, that's why.
But I think
Actually,
it's really good.
A game like this, Monkey King's level 20 talent or 25 is 200 armor, and that destroyed us last.
Is
That's
that
how we
what it
killed him.
is?
Yeah, we were like all wailing on him.
Oh, someone
like,
took 200
"Oh,
armor?
man."
I feel like that's pretty rare. Almost everyone takes the circle.
Yeah, but
No, he got an extended circle. I remember.
I don't know. He had the plus 200 armor, and yeah, he wouldn't go down. So I was just like, what's going on? And
That's
we
so
all died.
funny.
Oh, we gotta call that because I had no idea. Like, once the game gets to the 60-minute items and the level 25, that's when my Dota knowledge is 0.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've seen like 4 games that have reached tier 5 items. I don't have the greatest grasp of them.
Oh, in our league games, it's always a stalemate till like the 65. We played a 70-minute game or 75-minute game.
Yeah.
80 something. No.
That's actually one thing I like about your draft too, is that you have the option to go late. And like you said, it does seem to happen a lot in honestly in like a lot of brackets outside of Immortal. And so like having a lineup that isn't meant to win in 20 minutes, Like that's the thing. It's like harder to do that. Like maybe if you're good at it, you'll probably win a lot, but it's scary. And if you mess it up, you probably lose. And so it feels a lot safer. And that's why many people take this philosophy. It's like you go for these late game scaling heroes like Spectre, Dusa, Sniper. Like they're not the best early, but people struggle to end the game early. And so like you guys have the Faceless Void. I think he's really good late. And then everyone else is like pretty good in both sides, I think. Like you can push the early tempo a bit with the DP, but if it doesn't work out, it's like, okay, we've got our late game insurance too.